Welcome to a brand new school year and a brand new season of the Forum. I'm your host, Sheila Evans. Here on the Forum, we highlight interesting and important achievements, programs, and events within our school system and our community. Today's show is no exception. We have an incredible lineup of guests. First, we'll talk with Tim Jarmon. He's this year's Teacher of the Year for New Hanover County Schools. After that, this year's Elementary Educator of the Year, Brittany Candela, will stop by to talk to us about her new role. And finally, we'll chat with the new New Hanover County Schools Title IX Director, Jarrell Lewis, about his plans for the district. It's an exciting edition of the Forum, and we'll get started right after this short break.
Planning the right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
My guest is Tim Jarmon. He's the English teacher at Ashley High School, and he is New Hanover County Schools Educator of the Year for this year. Tell us first off, why did you become a teacher?
Whoa. Well, first and foremost, I'm a proud product of New Hanover County Schools. I was lucky enough to receive the Teaching Fellow Scholarship at the ripe age of 17 as I was graduating high school. And honestly, I'm a pretty imaginative person, but when it came to choosing a career, I kind of had a failure of imagination. I honestly couldn't imagine myself doing anything but being a teacher. And then now I'm 31, and I still kind of feel the same way.
Very good.
So,
anything else in your background that might have led you to be a teacher for New Hanover County Schools?
Honestly, maybe just some of the quality instructors that I had and some of the experiences that I had inside the school kind of led me that way, but nothing I can kind of really pinpoint other than it's all I can imagine myself doing.
Very good. What do you like most about your job?
Most about my job? Man, it's going to hurt my colleagues' feelings. The students I teach. They're pretty incredible, and it's nice to be a part of their lives. It's nice that they tolerate me and pay attention and learn things, but it's really great to have an impact on students and see them, inside of our community kind of having an impact as well. And it's great to kind of be a part of that cycle. It's really uplifting, it's really inspiring, and it's fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tell us about your philosophy of education.
Oh man. How much time? I'm just kidding.
You have time, I promise.
Well, recently I've been kind of rethinking it because I'm trying to create a classroom that is value-oriented. And the 4 core values in my class right now are effort, empathy, honesty, and inquiry. And in order to embody my philosophy, I had to kind of make it value-oriented. And so I tried to tie most of my lessons into those 4 principles. Whenever I am making instructional decisions or dealing with behavioral problems or trying to understand an issue and its complexity, I always kind of fall back on those 4 things. And fortunately, I teach literature and language, and so oftentimes the empathy piece and the inquiry piece, and honestly the honesty piece, really come into play and naturally tie into my curriculum.
I was going to ask you about the empathy piece.
Yeah.
Do they get it?
Yes,
okay.
They do, and it's surprising and uplifting. And part of the empathy piece is if you're trying to engage with a different character or understand a different perspective, it really does require empathy. And doing that inside of a work of literature is a safe place for students to really practice and develop those skills to hopefully use in the real world. So.
Awesome. What grade do you teach?
I teach 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade.
Oh, you teach everybody.
Yeah, I didn't
you
realize
don't
that until I said that out loud. Yeah.
What is your message as the County Teacher of the Year?
Oh man, something I think about a lot is that, well, one, I feel like most people, I'm a product of struggle, and I take value in that, and I value that deeply. And I realize that there's lots of things that teachers, students, stakeholders in our community have to navigate on a daily basis. And I feel like education in general, there's a lot of cynicism, and it's really difficult to kind of navigate that and not become engulfed by it. And so I have a question, and my message is embedded in the question, and it's, will you be a cynic or will you be a builder? And as
Nice.
Teacher of the Year, I've been thinking about the ways in which I can sustainably construct a better future for our students, all of our students. And the things that I've realized is, one, I need to focus on the whole child and the needs of the whole child. Two, instruction can always be improved. It's something that teachers and administrators can actually control. And then three, I've been thinking a lot about the achievement gap and trying to understand it in this larger historical context, but also viewing it maybe as an opportunity gap and trying to figure out ways to both generate and filter opportunities for students so that they can all be successful and find things that interest them and that are engaging.
Very good.
Yeah.
Anyone you'd like to thank?
Well, first and foremost, my family, specifically my wife Savannah and my 6-month-old, soon to be 7-month-old son. That happens quick, huh?
It does.
Oscar. I would like to thank the faculty and staff at my school. I went to high school at Ashley. They tolerate me working there as well. I work with some of my old teachers, and they're great people. Honestly, I just want to thank faculty and staff, and then the kind folks and community partners who made the award of County Teacher of the Year so special, specifically Hendrick Toyota. So if you see a red Prius zipping around town with a bumper sticker that says Teacher of the Year, that's thanks to them, and I'm lucky enough that I get to drive it.
That is pretty cool, isn't it?
It's nice.
So is it really fun to be at high school and colleagues with your old teachers?
Fun? I mean, it is actually, because I can't fake the funk. They knew me when I was a student. They know me now. They've seen my full arc, and so they kind of understand me and my complexity.
Very good.
But it's great to work with your old teachers, and it really makes you think about the fact when you're inside of the classroom, like, well, I could be very easily working with these kids one day as well, and that's exciting and cool.
Good. So what do you do with your time when you're not at school?
Oh man, I am an avid skateboarder and surfer, and so you'll see me at the beach and at the skate park, and then obviously spending time with my family. But between skateboarding and surfing and my family and teaching, that's about it.
Gotcha. What message would you have for a first-year teacher or someone who's thinking about it?
Don't underestimate the role and value of doing simple things well inside of your classroom and in your job. Because the cumulative effect of simple things done well over time is honestly the definition of impact and success.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, Tim, it was great meeting you.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
same. Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
All right.
And we'll be back in a few minutes, right after these messages.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Thanks.
My next guest is Brittany Candela. She is a 5th grade teacher at the International School at Gregory, and she is New Hanover County Schools Elementary Teacher of the Year. First off, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
you so
exciting,
much.
isn't it?
It's a great honor to represent my school and county this way.
Very nice.
It really is.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I grew up in Raleigh, and I decided to move to Wilmington when I attended UNCW. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in elementary education in Spanish. Met my husband here. We have 2 wonderful boys, Mason and Dominic, so I have to mention them.
How old are they?
Mason he started kindergarten this year. He is almost 6, and Dominic is going to be 4 in about 2 weeks.
Fun.
I did some teaching in Onslow County schools for a while, and then I decided to take a break from teaching and be a stay-at-home mom for about 3 years. And then I finally decided to come back. I've been here the whole time, and then I decided to work for New Hanover County Schools. So I have been at the International School of Gregory. This is my 4th year. I've taught 2nd grade, and now I've moved to 5th grade this year. So
I wish I could be in your class.
Oh, thanks.
Who influenced you to become a teacher?
I definitely would have to say Miss Glosser, my third grade teacher. She had such a way of making learning fun and memorable for us. And she built a rapport with myself as well as the rest of the class by coming to our sporting events, showing up at our birthday parties. She did read-alouds in silly voices and then would give us the book for a birthday present. And I just knew I want to do what she does. I want to grow up and I want to make kids as happy as she's making me. And so I really have to give her the credit for
There you go,
why I'm a
Miss
teacher.
Glosser.
Yes.
So you work at a dual immersion school. What
Yes,
makes
ma'am.
that so unique for you?
It's definitely a different experience than I've ever had before. There's definitely a lot of collaboration because you're partnered with another teacher. Half of our staff are from different countries, Chile, Ecuador, Honduras, Spain, and it's really a neat opportunity to work with them and understand how they teach and how they taught in the country that they're from. But it involves a lot of collaboration with them. And also the students are learning to be bilingual and biliterate, and so they are being immersed in the Spanish language every other day. And it's really great to see how that grows throughout the years, learning to read and write and speak and listen all in both English and Spanish.
Now, did you say they're immersed every other day?
Every other
What does
day.
that mean?
So I am the English component teacher,
Okay.
and my partner, we have 2 homerooms, and so we would switch every other day. So we're teaching the same exact standards, but he's teaching it in a Spanish language, and I'm teaching it in the
Very
English
cool.
language. And it's all the subjects.
Gotcha.
Yes.
What are some of your personal beliefs of teaching?
I really believe, after my experience, that a successful classroom is one where kids are engaged, classroom community is built, kids are encouraged to problem solve and take risks. Students are celebrated for the things that they've done in the classroom, and that the needs of the whole child is met, both physical, emotional, social, and academic needs.
I was going to ask you,
Yes.
how do you meet those needs?
So I like to start first thing in the morning. I do not believe in morning worksheets on desks, so when students come in, they have free choice, but the choices involve things that are problem solving through games or building and engineering and creating through STEM materials. And so students are able to collaborate and work as a team from the minute they walk into the classroom. I also work on that social emotional piece through a daily morning meeting. Students, we gather, even the 5th graders, even the big kids, we gather in a circle and we talk about what's going on in our lives, what are some really cool things that are happening, or maybe some not so cool things
Right,
that
very
are going
nice.
on. So we talk about ways that we can problem solve those situations, and it's just a really great way to foster a classroom community. And also I try and plan lessons that are engaging and get them up and moving. You know, they're very busy kids that need to be moving all the time, so I try to make it as hands-on as I possibly can.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So we talked about your impact in the classroom. What about your impact on the whole school? Share
So
some of
I
those
have
thoughts.
always opened my doors to my colleagues as far as coming in to see what I'm doing in the classroom. I've led a couple professional developments at my school to showcase especially the morning alternatives, what I do in the morning. But I also noticed last year that we needed more options for the kids on the playground. And so I organized a Donors Choose grant for the entire school to have new recess equipment, not things like slides and swings, but things for them to build upon good sportsmanship and teamwork. So that actually got funded. And this year we've been able to implement for all the students K through 8 new recess equipment that they can check out and take to the playground with them. So students are taking, they're playing badminton out on the playground, or they're playing cornhole,
interesting.
horseshoes, basketball, wiffle ball is a big favorite with the boys, and just it's really getting the students to interact with each other, maybe with other students they didn't necessarily interact with before, and it's really building teamwork out on the playground.
Nice. So what are your goals as elementary teacher of the year?
That's a great question. So I would just like to start where it all is in the classroom. I just want to do the best that I can as a teacher in my classroom. But I also want to make it a goal for myself to get to know the other elementary teachers within the county, foster some relationships with them, build some rapport, and kind of gauge what are the needs, what is it that I can do to help them, and how can I be of service, and just kind of get to know the other teachers that are at New Hanover County Schools, and encourage them in the ways that they need.
Nice.
And meet their needs.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, Brittany, it sounds like Gregory is lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
And we'll be back in a few minutes, right after these messages. Good deal.
WomenHeart is in a race to save lives. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women. It's 80% preventable if you know the facts. Millions of women are living with or at risk of heart disease. Get educated. See your doctor. Know the facts. To win this race, we all have to do it together. Our hearts beat as one. To learn more, visit womenheart.org.
I'm joined by Jarrell Lewis. He is the New Hanover County Schools Title IX Director. And Jarrell, I understand this is a new position.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you know about the new position?
So Title IX is a federal law that states that each educational institution must take actions to stop, prevent, and remedy sexual harassment and gender discrimination. So under those regulations, each school system is recommended to have or required to have a Title IX coordinator or Title IX director, which is my role here.
Okay, and you did this before?
Correct, I did, yep.
North Dakota?
I was in North Dakota, yes ma'am. I was Title IX coordinator and equity officer at a university in North Dakota.
Very good. What are your expectations for this position?
My expectations are, for one, to make sure that New Hanover County Schools is in compliance with the Title IX regulations, as well as so making sure that we're compliant there, as well as building a trust and the foundation for the community and for the school system as a whole to know that we care for our students and that we're making sure that they have an educational environment to where they can thrive and learn. So that's essentially what I'm trying to do in my role here.
And what specifically are some of the things that you'll do?
So specifically I'll be involved in the policy review and oversight of all allegations related to sexual harassment or gender discrimination. So that's my role in a nutshell. And that will entail overseeing investigations, doing investigations, policy review and writing, and also doing the trainings for the school system.
Training the employees?
Correct.
How to identify that it's happening, or?
Right, the employees and also individuals that are directly involved in the resolution of Title IX incidents. Mm-hmm.
Very good, very good. We talked about the fact that you come from New Hanover County. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I was born and raised here in New Hanover County. I was a student in K through 12 here. So it's very important to me to make sure that the school system here is equally as good as it was when I was here. I had a tremendous experience that laid a foundation for me to go off to college and law school and develop those skills that all started here. I was able to foster relationships with teachers while I was in K through 12 schools and in high school that I still have to this day. So it's very important to me.
Very good. What did you find in your last position? I know it's going to be similar here. What was one of your biggest frustrations?
I guess one of the biggest frustrations was making sure that individuals were knowledgeable about what Title IX actually is. So that was one of the biggest frustrations, and it'll be the same here, and that's just with any role, making sure that individuals actually understand what the parameters of the role is. Because when you say Title IX, most people, oh, well, what is that? So that'll be part of my job, and I had to do that in the last role too, educating the community and the campus and the schools involved in regards to what the obligations are and how we can actually meet those expectations.
And it's mostly covering the sexual harassment?
Correct, so it covers sexual harassment, gender discrimination. Originally, most people thought it was in regards to just sports, equity in sports. But through
honestly, I did.
And that's generally how it started at first. But through case law and regulations and developments there, it's broadened to a more encompassing and more robust application for the employees, students, and school systems.
What makes you feel drawn to this type of position?
Oh, wow. So I have a background as an attorney, And in law school, I developed an appreciation for the constitutional law, and also I developed an appreciation for employment law. And also while I was in law school, I worked with the juvenile justice program that I was there, and I also was a truancy court judge in Durham County. So I think that it's just a perfect mix of my educational background and as well as my personal experience. I have a personality that likes to help others, and I see this role as an opportunity to mesh both of those worlds, professional and academic, and also personal.
And how do you plan on getting that definition, as I admitted, I thought it was the same, out to the community members?
Making sure that we have a policy that's in place that is informative, so the individuals can understand it when they're looking at it, as well as being out on the forefront. I would like to be able to go about and go to different schools for parent-teacher nights, things such as that, as well as just be a visible face in the community and also be accessible through email or phone call. I'm only a phone call away. So that's my plan, to change the understanding of what Title IX is and how it actually affects the students and employees of New Hanover County Schools.
And you see this as a much needed position here in New Hanover County Schools?
Yes, I do. I think that New Hanover County Schools is definitely on the forefront. K through 12 is a little bit behind higher education when it comes to compliance with Title IX, but with the new position here, I think New Hanover County Schools is definitely taking a step in the right direction and showing that they are serious about complying with Title IX, and this is definitely a great step in doing so.
Okay. Want to share any goals that you might have?
In regards to goals, definitely number one is making sure our policies and procedures are tight and individuals can understand what those are. And in regards to other goals, it's definitely just creating a more transparent atmosphere and making sure that the community understands what we're doing and is trusting in what we're doing so they can feel safe enough to share those type of experiences. Unfortunately, as they happen to employees and students, we want to make sure that they have an environment to where they feel safe and where they can report those type of incidents. So that's my goal.
So what keeps you busy outside of school?
Well, outside of school, I have a fiance and I have a dog named BJ. So those keep me busy. I also enjoy music, so I'm a musician, and different activities such as that.
And we talked about how you came here, you came back home from North Dakota.
I did.
So your mom's happy.
She's ecstatic, yes, very happy, very happy. So spending time with her as well.
Nice, nice to have you back here.
Thank you.
Anything else that you want to share with us?
No, I think that's about it. I look forward to continuing to grow this role in this position and being able to interact with the community as we move forward.
Great. Thanks for sharing that information. We'll be back in a few minutes, right after these messages. Good deal. We hope you've enjoyed our program today. If you ever have any questions about the topics discussed here on our show, please call the school system's public relations office at 254-4180 or check out the school system's website at www.nhcs.net. I'm Sheila Evans, and thanks for joining me today.